Detail. Having started the cockpit in the first pack, the model gamer added some details to his cockpit. He also began the framework for the Falcon. Plus, we took a look at the cockpit when it was fully assembled. But what does this pack have in store for our illustrious model builder?
Welcome back to the Model Frontier, everyone. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a second of any of my great content. So we're here back with the Millennium Falcon, and I told you at the end of last pack that I was going to weather up my cockpit and everything and show you what it looks like. And here's what I did. So, first of all, let me take this front piece off here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there very good, but basically I did a wash of black on the brown seats to kind of make them look faded, and just a little bit of a yellowish ochre wash on the back seats, on the white parts, just to make them look a little faded and worn out. Now for the cockpit itself, you might notice it's no longer as nice and shiny white as it was. I actually weathered it using something called weathering powder. And I'll show you what that is right now. So if you're not familiar with weathering powder, it comes in a little package like this. This particular pack comes with snow, soot, and rust. It's a powder. It basically goes on like makeup. You have your different things there. And all you want to do is, all I did was I kind of dipped the brush end into the soot and just kind of dabbed it all over the place. It doesn't have to be, it's not an exact science. Just do it as much as you want. Blow off the excess. Some areas you might go a little thicker to kind of make them stand out a little more. It's your model. You can do this. You can choose not to do it. I think it looks better this way. I think it really makes stuff pop out on it. But again, it's up to you. This stuff isn't that expensive, and you can pretty much pick it up, I'm sure, at any model store. So, if you want to dip your toes in weathering, go nuts. We'll go into more weathering details a little later on. I'll also be talking about washes and dry brushing in this video, actually. But before we can get on with that, we got our second free gift with this pack, so let's take a look at that. So your next free gift for your Millennium Falcon build is this cool Millennium Falcon cap. I mean, it's a baseball cap. It says Millennium Falcon there. Kind of adjusts like a belt buckle, which is pretty cool. Millennium Falcon, Star Wars right on there. So it's just your basic black ball cap. Nice little freebie that they give you, though, so I like it. But let's get on with what you're here for, which is the building of this model. So there we go. We got a nice little hat for this, and in this pack we're going to do a little more on the cockpit, but we're going to be doing a lot of stuff for our cargo bay. So we're going to start doing that section now. So let's not waste any more time and let's get building. So here's part 7, and obviously the star of the show is this big floor. That is the floor to our cargo hold, obviously. So that's your star, but we got other parts in here that we need to do. So let's get everything out and we'll take a look at everything that comes in this. Actually, the first thing I want to do is I want to focus on this for a minute, because we're going to do something on this that's going to help bring out some of these, flooring details. This is a technique called a wash. What this is going to do is we're going to take some wetted down black paint, and we're going to put it all over this, let it dry a little bit, and then blot it down so that it brings out the details on this floor. I'll do that with you so you can see what that looks like. Now, what we do with a wash, it's a little more liquidy than what you would probably use in an airbrush. You want to just get the whole surface kind of wet. You just want it to be kind of quick and dirty because this is only meant to bring out details. It's not meant to actually, like, paint anything. There we are. Now we're going to let that set and dry for a little bit. Not too long because we don't want it to fully dry. We just want it to kind of set on there a little bit. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And now we're going to continue on with the actual instructions. So the first thing we're told to do is we have this seat cushion here. We want to take we want to get these off the sprues here, but I always recommend we do it in the order they want you to. So the first thing we're going to be working on is actually up here with these parts. So we will need some super glue for this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these two sections here. We're going to clip those off. Just like that. And we're going to want a sanding stick to kind of smooth the edges out so there's no burrs on that. See? Nice and smooth. If you use the sprue cutters the right way, there won't be much to take off. Now I'm going to take the one piece we were just working on. I'm going to move these to the side because this doesn't take long to do. And then we're just going to blot it like this to kind of make the floor a little dirty, a little grungy. It'll look a little walked on. And it just brings out some of those details. There we go. I like how that looks. I'm satisfied with that. So now I'm going to move this off to the side here. Because we're now going to continue on with this. So we need to put the cushions here on this part. This is where you're going to want your glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue in the channels that it's going to go in. And not that it's going to need it, but I'm just going to put a little bit right in the middle here, just to give it a little extra support. Now you got 4 tabs on here, 4 tabs there. I think you know where you're going to go. There we go. We got that in on that side. Now we're going to do the same thing on this part. There we go, just like that. Now, it looks like we're going to be working with this next part. We need the end that doesn't, the bottom part that does not have the screws, the tabs on it. And what you need is you have 4 of these sections here that kind of have a curve to them, and you have you have 2 that are flat. We want one of these curved ones first. We actually want 2 of these curved ones. Now, inside here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there are grooves just like we did before. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the glue. I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on the tabs here, just so that I can get a little spread out there. Like that. And then you want to put it in following the curve. And you'll feel it kind of fit in place. And we do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. Now we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to take the other 4 of these off. Now we're going to take this one with the pegs, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start the same way, just like we did on the one section. Just like that. And then we're going to take the 2 that I said are flat. They're not curved. And for this one, you're going to want to put it on the part. And you'll see why in just a second. So we got that. We're going to put the tabs on this in there. And you can see it hangs off the edge. Hang on. You can see it hangs off that edge a little bit there. So that's why you kind of want to do it this way. And then once we got those in, we can put this part. We're going to line the pegs on this and put this in place. And that's what your bunk will look like. So now we can just kind of... Actually, I'm going to leave that. It feels pretty secure. It ain't going anywhere, so there's that. Now, this last little bit here tells you about all the ways you can do... The last little bit in the instructions tells you all about how you can do dry brushing and add colors to your cockpit and little details you can do, which I've gone ahead and done. I kind of used the website my Falcon builds just to add some details and pick out some stuff. Again, this is your model. You can do whatever you want to do with it, but this is what I kind of did. I kind of like how everything looks weathered and used and worn and everything like that. So, yeah, I think that looks really good. Oh, and we do have one other part we need to do too. I missed this one. The last bit of our sprue has the seat. For our cargo hold, the bench. And all they want you to do is you're gonna fit the seat into that with some glue. This is one spot where I'm just gonna dab the glue in here. Like that. And just a few spots on here. And it doesn't have to look pretty. We're just gonna fit that right in place, just like that. Now this piece you're not going to do anything with all that done, because that's just basically where this is going to sit in, like that. With all that stuff done, that is it for stage 7. So here we are at the start of stage 8, and this is going to have a lot of modifications we're going to do on this, because there is a lot of little details we're going to be picking out of all the parts we get here. And we get quite a lot of parts. So we're going to be doing a technique known as dry brushing. So what that is basically you're going to take your brush. Take a nice brush, you're going to put some paint on it, and then you're going to take off most of that paint. And then what you want to do is lightly brush over parts of your model. And this is going to bring out the details, the fine lines of the model. Key here is to do stuff lightly. You're not trying to paint this. You're just trying to add a little bit of, make some details pop. So like on the nav computer there. Then we're going to do it on this part here. Then if you want, you can go a little more in depth and add some color to it, which I'm going to do off camera so that I don't bore you with it, but I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, so I did a lot of stuff and I forgot to unpause it. So here's the Navic computer. I did a lot of coloring in and stuff on it. We put this panel in, 2 dials, and we put this piece in right here. I wish I could redo that, but I already glued them in so they aren't coming out. I just added a lot of color to this, did the dry brushing, everything you saw, just to add a little something to it. We then put this bed piece in. You don't need to glue it. It just slots right in there. We put the one piece off the one sprue that I told you to save. We screwed down with 2 corner screws from issue 7. We screwed this computer piece down. We fit the seat cover, the seat into the pegs, and now we're putting the covers on from this sprue, and it goes big, small, big, small. And since you didn't get to see me put this first one on, I'll do the small one for you. Put a little glue right in the channel here. And then I'm putting a little glue just on like an edge here so it sticks to the back. One edge and just on the top here. And then it's going to slot in place and sit back flush like that. Now we're going to continue on with that pattern just all the way till a certain point for me. I'm going to do that off camera so that I don't bore you with, getting this done. And there we go. Now I bet you're wondering why I stopped here and didn't finish up. It's because I'm going to be getting a decal set that's going to add the details to this and this, which is also why I didn't color, any of the buttons up here. But this set is actually not supposed to have anything in it. It's supposed to be more controls and buttons and stuff. There's a decal set that's going to give me that look, so I'm going to actually wait to get that. If I don't like how the decal looks, I can always put the seats on later. I mean, this is an easy thing to put seats into, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not saying you have to do what I'm doing, but this is how I'm leaving it for now, and that is the end of this stage. So here go the parts to stage 9, and the first thing we're going to look at briefly is this, which is your battery box. Takes 4 AA batteries. I do not have them, but if I did, we could plug them in. We could plug this into this, and we could test the lighting on it. But if you did have it, if you did have your batteries, you would just take one end of this and plug it in here to your board. And then you would turn it on, and obviously the board would light up. When I get batteries, I'll show that to you at a later time. But that's your battery box. Set that to the side. Now they also give you these strips, which they want you to put in they want you to put the strips right in here to help block lighting, but I just painted mine black. It's gonna work, it works better than doing this. Now they want you to leave the battery pack connected to this thing. And now they want us to put the cockpit here together, so I'm gonna clear some space so we can do this. So we're going to take the bottom of the tube and we're going to slide this in here The way it's got to go in. Just like that. Then we're going to take this part here. With this outcropping of the handle facing to the back. And it's just going to slide in like that. And now, making sure we don't pinch the wire here, we are going to put this piece on. And we're making sure we aren't pinching anything. Then we're going to then what I'm going to do is put the ring on here first. Making sure we put it in the right way. Hey, I'm going to do this off camera so that I can get this ring in. There we go. The ring's in. Now we're going to put the nose cone in. And yes, I did put glue on this to hold it in place because it was coming apart at the seams. Now that that's all in place, the cockpit is now assembled. Now comes the fun part. We need this sprue to put on a whole bunch of details. And the instructions tell you which number to goes where. So we're gonna go just like they show in the picture. We're gonna go in order. We begin with number 1, which is this piece right here. And if we're looking at the top part like this, it's gonna fit in right here. Just like that. Number 2 is this piece right here with the big one, with the big end. And mine broke, so I'll have to put it in 2 parts. But it's going to go into this. It's going to go in here and here. Second, guys. There we are, just like that. And I fixed the brake, so it's good. Number 3 is this very thin straight one. This one goes in right here where there's two small holes. Just like that, with this box piece going towards the back. Now some more pieces we're going to put on the bottom part. So we're going to flip this over. I'm going to turn it like this so we can see with the instructions. So now piece 4 is this little square piece right here. Which is going to go right into this square here. Yeah. And these points, which I don't know if you'll see them, but the two nubs point down. Just like that. Number 5 is this tiny guy here. And it looks like it goes on this somehow, but I want to just look into that real quick, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, we are skipping 5 for right now. I was confused there for a minute, but we are going to skip 5. We're going to go on to 6, which is this piece here. It's going to go in there, and you're just following the pattern of it. Now we're going to do part 7, which is this big guy right here. And it's going to fit in right in here. It's going to fit in right in there. Just like that. Now this is why I said we should wait on part 5, because it actually connects to there. So put a little glue there, and a little bit of glue there. Actually, I'm going to use tweezers on this to get that into position. So just a second here. This is actually going to be a little trickier than I thought it would be. Hang on, I'm going to do this off camera so I can get it in here. Okay, so there we go. That piece is now in. It was tough. You got to basically hold it in place for a little bit till it sets. Now we got piece 8, which is going to be this guy here. It's going to go right here, following the pattern again. Just like that. Now we have number 9, which is a pipe, which is right here. And part of it's going to fit into this nub here. And then the other part's going to go to this hole right here. Just like that. Now we're going to do number 10, which is this piece here. And 10 is going to go... Looks like it connects into there. And it just kind of goes off to the edge here. So it's only got one point. Plus you might want to put some glue on the base of the pipe. And then the last bit of piping on the sprue, number 11, it's going to connect in this hole and do the same thing. Just like that. And with that sprue done, so is stage 9. Now for the beginning of issue 10, we actually don't need the part that we get with this part right now. We actually need this set that we got, I believe, in issue 9. Let me double check. Yes, we need this part that we got in part 9. Because we're going to be doing this, and this is something we are going to do a lot. So within a little while, you should be a dap hand at this. So we got to put these door pads on this door frame. So I'm going to do a couple here to show you what it looks like. So we cut them off, and you'll notice there's a groove in there, which we're gonna put our glue in. Kind of like that. And then we put it onto just a matching part of this piece here. It should snap into place. Yep. You'll feel it snap into place. I'm going to do one more here. So once again, we cut off one. We put our glue into the groove. Then we snap it into place. Once that snaps in place, you're good to go. Now I'm going to go do the other one, the whole rest of this ring off camera so I don't bore you. And I'll be back here when that job is done. There we go, just like that. Now we're going to set that, and I also use the opportunity to file down the burrs like this, as opposed to each individual one. You'll get into a groove really quick with this though, so don't worry if it takes you a little bit at the beginning, because like I say, you will get into a groove and you'll figure it out. We're going to set that aside now. And they want us to bring over the wall of the hold here. We're going to take two parts for it. We got the part on this sprue here. And then we have a part on this sprue, which is this part right here. And we obviously can tell we're going to put the shape, match the shapes together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue into the channel here. And we're just going to pop the pieces in. Now this piece, you have to make sure that it goes in this way with the main part going towards the doorway. If it doesn't fit in flush, file off some of those burrs. There, just like that. Next, we're going to take this piece, I'm going to dry fit it here. And it's just going to fit into this. So you're going to want to put some glue along that rim. Once you got some glue all around the rim there, you're just going to pop this in place. Make sure you get it nice and flush in there. And then you're going to put some glue on this rim here. Right along the edge. And once you got that in, you're going to put this piece that we just did in there too. It might be easier to do it from this direction because at least then it's flatter. We're going to kind of have to hold this in place while your glue sets. Hopefully this didn't happen to you. And with that step done, that is it for stage 11. So literally, even though, or for stage 10 I should say, so literally even though we get all these parts, we didn't touch any of them. So we're just going to set them aside. Okay, so here we are with stage 11, and much like stage 10, we get parts that I don't think we use any of them in here. Yeah, we get parts we don't actually use, so set them aside, and we're going to start with this piece. On this sprue here, we got a piece of piping left over. You actually have two pieces. You have a piece here too. One of these has a tab on it that you have to attach this piping to. It is a very tight squeeze, so I don't think you will need glue on this. And then we're going to do a dry fit, where one end is going to go into this hole here. And then that other end's just going to kind of sit just like that. So now that we dry fit it, we'll put some glue on it. So it's not this first one here, it's the second one down. Just going to hold that in place for a minute. Hang on, stand by. There we go, that pipe's in. And that sprue is done. Now we need this sprue here. And we're clipping off this curved pipe right here. And just like before, right here's a little piece that we have to cut off and put on. Again, there's a tab on one end. Line it up. It should look like this when it's done. And now the one end will fit in the hole next to this one and follow the curve. Just like that. Now next, we're going to take our third pipe, which is this one here. Now this one is going to go in the hole up top here and just go down to the bottom. So I would just make sure you put the glue in the whole part for right now, because you may need to adjust where this goes in a little bit. So it should go just like that. Now we're going to take pipe 4, which is this long one, and it's going to follow right along next to that one. So it's going to kind of set with that one. So again, I'm just going to put some glue on the end here so that if I need to adjust this in a bit, I will, and you'll see what I mean. Just kind of like that for now. And now we got one more, well, a couple more pipings. We got this pipe here, which is next. This is the next one they want us to do. And this is going to go in just to the hole here. Put some glue onto the tab. It's going to go into the hole. Just like that. And then the other end is just going to kind of sit like that. Now, for this next part, we need our wall, because this is why I said to wait, because we're going to actually put this in here. And the two pipes here should fit into this little groove in here. So if they're too wide, we got to bring them in a little bit. So I'm going to take care of that right now. There we go. And with that done, that is all done, and that is all there is to do in this stage. That's all there is to do in this pack. We still have, keep in mind, we still have one pipe right here. I don't see that it says to do anything with it yet, so we're going to leave it alone for now. Don't throw this sprue away. Even if you have cut all the seats off, don't lose this sprue, because you don't want to lose that pipe, because you're going to need it later, I'm sure. So there you go. And of course, I couldn't resist, so I kind of just started putting stuff together here, so we can get an idea as to what this is going to look like all together. And I got to tell you, I'm liking how it looks. Doing the wash on the floor really helps. You could use your weathering set to add some rust effects onto some areas. You can see I put the nav computer in. Nothing's really glued in or screwed in or anything yet, so because like you still take that off and everything. So nothing's permanently affixed yet. I get the feeling we're going to be doing that in the next pack. But we'll save that for another day. I am going to try to see if I can maybe get something, some kind of detail to put on this wall, because I just don't think this wall should be blank. I'm going to do some test printing with 3D printer. If I'm successful and I get something really nice here, I'll of course give a link to where you can get the print parts from. But otherwise, yeah, there's the cargo bay so far. And yes, I did take the extra parts out that we haven't used yet, so we'll be doing a lot of that though in the next pack. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked what you saw here, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will definitely catch you next time on the Model Frontier.